The leaves turn gold, the weather turned cold, and the story began to unfold. It's 1976, a season still alive. The legends and the memories that time could never hide. From the kickoff in September to the champions at the end, we turn the pages back again and live those days once more, my friend.
Welcome back to Pigskin Glory, football 50 years ago today. Today we're heading back to a busy Friday, July 2nd, 1976, as the country prepared to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the bicentennial, one of the busiest football news days of the summer. We had trades, retirements, labor disputes, stadium drama, and another exciting night of Canadian Football League action. Our first story takes us to New Orleans and Tampa Bay, where the expansion Buccaneers acquired backup quarterback Larry Cipa from the Saints for a future draft choice. Cipa, a former University of Michigan standout, has spent the past 2 seasons backing up Archie Manning and Bobby Scott in New Orleans, and is now headed to Tampa Bay as John McKay continued building his inaugural Buccaneer roster. Next, we say goodbye to New York Jets, one of the greatest New York Jets players in history. Running back Emerson Boozer announced his retirement after 10 seasons in professional football. Boozer finished his career with a franchise record 5,135 yards, scored 52 touchdowns, helped lead the Jets to a victory in Super Bowl III, and announced that his next career would be in television, broadcasting with CBS. Meanwhile, off the field, the football labor unions battle continued, and the Miami Dolphins were given a deadline to resolve their lease dispute with the Orange Bowl or risk having to move exhibition games elsewhere. At the same time, the NFL suffered a partial setback in its ongoing labor dispute as an administrative law judge ruled that the league had engaged in some unfair labor practices during negotiations with the players' union. The transaction wire was also active as the Dallas Cowboys signed draft picks Duke Ferguson and Beasley Reese. The Buffalo Bills added wide receiver Ron Holiday, and the retirement of Emerson Boozer became official. But perhaps the biggest news was what didn't happen. After weeks of speculation, the Los Angeles Rams owner Carroll Rosenblum officially announced that the trade talks for Buffalo Bills superstar O.J. Simpson have collapsed. Simpson, who had expressed a desire to return to California, would remain in Buffalo for the 1976 season, ending one of the biggest trade stories of the offseason. And finally, north of the border, the Saskatchewan Roughriders continued their impressive preseason play, defeating the defending Grey Cup champion Edmonton Eskimos. Quarterback Dave Simey and return specialist John Washington continued to shine as Saskatchewan emerged as one of the early stories of the 1976 CFL exhibition season. July of 1976 is only 2 days old, and already the football world was proving that some of the biggest drama happened long before the open kickoff. If you've enjoyed today's trip back in time, please like, share, and subscribe, and join us again tomorrow for another edition of Pigskin Glory Football 50 years ago today.